Welcome to Superstar Diaries. Today is a very exciting day.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Summer Equinox or Spring Equinox is today, and our first single in the relaunch of Manufacturer Superstars came out today. Take Me Over Rework.
Yeah, the Freak on You mix. Very excited about that. You know, starting a music chain and really getting things out again is like a whole nother. It's like a whole process again, right? I mean, it's fun and frustrating all at the same time.
We're like a kid in a candy store this morning. I have that big 72-inch TV hooked up to my Dolby Atmos, and like first thing this morning, go to Apple Music, turn it on, blasting Take Me Over at 7 a.m. Wesley's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Dance party, 7 a.m. Let's go."
That's how you wake your son up now. Set the alarm clock to Take Me Over Freak on You Max. Like, but
it's just like exciting, you know, that a song that we make is available for the world today. We put a lot of passion, energy, time on making the track. I think Shawn absolutely killed the beat, and then like I said, the spatial audio mix is really fun.
So, you know, as we are relaunching, however you want to kind of say that, you know, Manufacturer Superstars, you know, we're invigorated and passionate about the technology. Brad has been working on his Sacred Society music, and that's, you know, it was one of the things behind this all, because they do everything in Dolby. So, you know, as we release new music, we are going to do a mix of original songs and reworks our original songs. So the first song that we released is this Take Me Over Freak on You mix. That's available on Spotify, Tidal, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, Apple, Prime. It's on every place.
On all the DSPs. Let's just
on every place that you could possibly go get it. But one of the things that we're most excited is about the Dolby mix for Apple. So do you want to talk a little bit about like what that means and like what we did in the studio?
Well, yeah, just because Sacred Society, we've done about 70 tracks now, and we mixed them all in Atmos. That really familiar with the whole process, and then, you know, always envisioning like what dance music would sound like in that spatial audio mix. The engineer that we work with has really good familiarity with what we're doing, and then getting Shawn's input on mixing it actually in Pro Tools of the original one, and then taking it over to the Atmos studio was. Like I said, we heard all the things that we wanted to and got all the movement that we wanted to in it, where it's not like, 15-second run it through Atmos and, you know, see what it comes up with. I think
we spent 3 or 4 hours on the mix.
I think as we are evolving with all of our songs, we're thinking about what sounds that we want to have be really, really spatial, and really give that new technology, that new movement. And, you know, just in our career, I just feel like we've always been pushing forward in some sort of thing, whether it was, you know, the old school raves, we were really pushing EDM forward with Beatport. Obviously, we were the big, you know, still, I think Beatport's going to sell its billionth download this year. Can you?
Really? That's pretty awesome. Beatport billionth. Wow, really? A billion downloads.
Yeah. Remember that ad that we actually put when we sold our 1 millionth download? Yeah, totally. That we actually put an extra zero in there, and it was the 1 billionth download.
And that was 12 years ago or whatever it was.
What magazine? I mean, we put in like DJ Mag. We put in big mags with a massive, massive typo. But hey.
Somebody can't count.
Yeah. 20 years later, we were predicting the future.
Yeah.
But with everything that we're doing, you know, with the beta sound system, even with our sound of like trying to push the mashup house sound to the mainstream crowd, you know, that was obviously always our goal with Manufacturer Superstars, was to make people that didn't like dance music like it.
Yeah.
And still is. And so now, you know, not pioneering, because everyone's doing, not everyone, but a lot of the artists are doing spatial audio mixes. I just feel like we have a really good understanding of where music's going to be in an immersive sound, you know, 5-10 years from now. You're going to be like me. If you're not listening to it in an immersive audio experience, like, why even bother?
So I think it's important to say for the people that might not be super tech savvy is, if you have an iPhone and you have Apple earbuds, you can listen to things in Dolby. So I don't know if everybody knows that, like, you know, and if you don't know where it is, it's in your control center. You literally could just hold the headphone button and you just hold it down. I mean, I could probably show it to you on camera. You literally go to the speaker.
Yeah, so everything after the iPhone 14. I mean,
your headphones have to be hooked up.
Yeah.
But yeah, if your headphones hooked up in the control center, you hold it down and you can literally check spatial audio or spatial audio with turning. So as you turn your head, like the instruments will stay in the position that they're in, like if you're at a concert.
Yep.
Because remember, what it's really trying to do is if the Beatles are playing and you're looking at the drummer and the singer's over there, your ears will naturally have a different perception.
Yep.
And that's what Dolby's trying to do. So it's really a cool experience. And, for the people that have
Dolby Atmos.
Dolby Atmos. But, 90% of the world has Apple earbuds or the Apple Air Max Pros and an iPhone. So like for the people out there, make sure you go listen to stuff in Dolby and experiment with it because it is a really cool format. And specifically for our song, Take Me Over, like listen to the synthesizers move around with your earbuds. Like you can literally feel the drums wrap around your head as the build up and go like around your head. And there are other cool artists, other artists doing same thing. Like Fred again had some amazing Dolby mixes.
Tiesto Boom is still.
Tiesto Boom is one of the best. Just chase around your head. But I just think that it's a really cool way to enhance your personal audio experiences. I guess is really the person versus. Obviously, everybody likes the shared experience of like going to EDC or Red Rocks, but this is kind of like a mini concert in your headphones.
Yep. The cool thing, like I said, it felt like Christmas this morning and then that just excitement of the track coming out, but then it kind of made me remember about the music video shoot.
Yeah, that was a great day. So we should really re-push that music video again.
Yeah, the music video.
So our inspiration was to redo The Hangover.
Yeah.
So we shot it at our friend Jesse's place in the W in LA, and we basically stage trashed it and had it be like we did trash it, but we had a flashback scene of like us partying all through the night and through the sunset, and then waking up and reliving it, kind of like The Hangover.
Yeah, that was the, and then we had that star of the video. There was lots of pretty girls in there. Leah Luna was in that, but Peanut Butter Bear made his appearance and kind of got like a cult following after that. Remember, we dressed him up in the spacesuit.
Didn't you bring him on an airplane?
Yeah. Then Ian and we flew to Vegas the next day. And then remember, we tried to put him in a passenger seat and they wouldn't let us. So
did you buy a seat for him?
No, we tried to because remember we were with the whole Insomniac crew.
Yeah, so I remember going to Vegas.
Yeah, all of us it was the day after the video. So we're like, let's take Peanut Butter with us. So they made us put him in a trash bag and we had to check him. We brought him back and then we took him to the club that night. And so we have all those photos with Don Johnson and with Ian and Forrest and Pasquale. Remember at the Venetian, we put Peanut Butter Bear.
Oh my God, yes, on the slide thing between the stairs. Didn't Ian go down after him?
Yeah.
And he went in between the escalators where you have like the metal thing. You slipped down and there was a little button. Ian shot off of it and landed right on his ass. For a second, I thought he might be injured.
Well, remember it was at. Yeah, that we were at the Venetian.
Yeah,
we were at the Venetian.
3-story escalator.
Yeah, so it was a 3-story escalator. So we put the bear, and this bear is like 4 feet tall.
The bear is a human-sized bear.
Yeah,
you can see in the pictures, and we'll edit some of the pictures into. It is. If it was human weight, it would be 300 pounds.
And so so this teddy bear was just kind of going around with us to the club, and it was like I said. Lots of good pictures. So I think the storytelling that Ian did, and then I think Ian maybe adopted him and made him his he'd take him to work.
I'm pretty sure the Insomniac crew eventually stole the bear. Because in the video, we brought him to the club, and that's kind of how it started, because people were holding him up and shaking his arms and doing all that type of stuff, and then all of a sudden, it was like the girls are all making out with the bear and then taking pictures.
And then at the end of the video, the girls drops her lingerie on the bear, remember, and he's wearing the spacesuit. So, like I said, it was today was just a awesome day of kind of nostalgia. Take Me Over was one of our I think it was the year it came out. It was the #1 track played on Sirius XM.
Yeah,
BPM.
It was our first, I hate to say radio hit because it wasn't like pop radio, but it was definitely our first dance music radio hit that, did. And, as you kind of said, it brought back memories. Like it really kind of also brought, I was listening to it. I woke up this morning at 6 and I was excited because I thought it actually was coming out yesterday, and I was kind of disappointed when I woke up in the morning to look at it.
The European record label thing kind of throws things off.
So I woke up this morning, and the first thing I literally did was roll over and go to Spotify, and I was like, oh, it's there. And then I literally clicked play, and I turned the volume down because my wife was still in bed next to me, and I didn't want it to be too loud. But I didn't want to stop it. I wanted to kind of let it play all the way through, and I wanted to see what the next song was going to be, kind of relearning the whole algorithm. But one of the things that really brought back for me was listening to it again was the fan excitement. I remember going out and girls and guys coming up to us and being like, "Oh, play this." And then, I always listen to it when I get ready. I always listen when I'm driving my kid to here. I always listen to it like when I'm on my way to the festival. And I just love that like interaction with fans with music. And, that's why we're all here.
Yeah.
Is to like, like you keep bringing up like, what did you keep saying? Like emotional connection or like catchy hooks that you want to sing, right?
That's it. You have two things in a song, either a really catchy hook or an emotional connection to the song.
And hopefully you have both.
And hopefully you have both.
But,
if you're above and beyond, you have both.
I think that, a lot of people forget, I know Wiggs, like you get it. We were kind of talking about production before. Like the amount of work that goes into a song, whether it's Lady Gaga or Manufactured Superstars, like we've heard this song 70,000 times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we wrote the beat, we worked with a songwriter, we recorded the vocal, we mixed it down. We did all of the edits and remixes, then we did all the promotion. You know what I mean? Like, so by the time it actually gets to a fan, like it's already lived in our life for 90 days.
Yeah, I mean, when did we worked on this track in probably December.
I mean, now it takes a month to put a song through the DSPs. Like, you really can't put out a song,
and now it's
even if
spring,
it's done today.
Solstice, and it just came out. So,
but it's like, so like when you get that feedback from people, it's so meaningful, right? I mean, like.
I just also I always think we're kind of underappreciated as producers because I think our quality has always been there, but our persona of being fun kind of overrode the production quality. But it's fun to listen to Sirius XM, BPM, or Diplo radio, and to hear our track, and then listen to that, and we're like, our track's just as loud, just as current. That our production skills we haven't really lost anything.
Totally.
And it feels like, it belongs in this era, immediately. And I think with all the tracks that we're working on, I think, what are we working on right now? Like six new tracks? 6 new tracks. And,
we're committed to the 2 reworks. This is one of them. And then we're going to redo like Satellites again too, which is basically done, So we're going to do a mix of new songs and some of our classics with the focus really on, new sounds and obviously embracing like this Dolby Atmos. We love that platform.
And kind of being like in between Afro House and pop. I think what was it? Tropical House was the big craze a few years ago. Now Afro House is, but I think I really like the BPM. I really like the sound design. I like the sound.
I know you like the bass line.
I love the bass line. I mean, that's my thing. But I just think, Manufactured Superstars are with these 6 tracks that we're working on. I think we're building a distinct sound that's very current, which to me was
it's pop Afro House. I mean, that's what we're going for. I mean, I'm going to say it on the microphone right now. Everything on the internet lives forever. We want to be the pop Afro House DJs of 2025 and forward.
I guess 2020, 2025 forward. But yeah,
I will say one side note. To all of my friends, and I'm looking directly at you. If you don't support this song, don't ask me for guest list when you come to Vegas. So if I don't see it in your played music or you're not sharing it on Instagram, I will remember when we're headlining Excess on the day after New Year's Eve in 2026 as we sign a new contract and you're like, hey, I want to bring a bunch of dudes, and be like, nope, block.
Yeah, that's how you know. Same thing. Shout out to all the people I've ever put on the guest list.
Shout out to Dylan Geller, already reposted it because he's been a big supporter of everything from the day.
But anybody that ever got guest list from me, you better listen to Take Me Over.
Yeah, I mean, so add it to your music, man. I mean, it's a different world now. Like we used to have to get people to buy CDs and then to buy the songs on iTunes or buy it on Beatport. Literally today, all you have to do is go to whatever you use, Apple or Spotify, and click the plus button. It doesn't cost you anything, and now it's in your playlist. And if you're really feeling ambitious, like share it with your friend or post it on a playlist that you already make. Again, free.
Yeah, sorry, we went from...
I'm watching Wiggs add it to his playlist right now because you know what? I know he wants to be on our guest list.
Yeah, seems like a fair trade.
It is a very fair trade.
Yeah. Speaking of, how many Red Bull vodkas do you think we gave away?
Oh, God. I mean, at your club that you paid for personally or on tour?
Both. Well, I do know that your comp tab, so every year, we have to end...
Yeah, you got to rectify the books.
We got to reconcile the books. And I remember you and Ha always had the biggest tab, and you guys would both always be in around the $30,000 range. And one year you were like $45,000. And like Mike McRae would be, he would drink the Grand Marnier, which was super expensive, and his comp tab was like 10 or 12,000.
Yeah.
Like, how is Shawn I was like, Shawn, 40 grand. Like, you just give him, and this is cost. Like, this isn't like retail value of what we sell it for. This is like, that's a lot of drinks that you gave away. Because your tab was more than mine.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was there more than you, arguably, but I mean, how many Red Bull vodkas did we give away? I don't know. What do you think? We played 1,000 shows?
Yeah, we played about 1,000
All right,
shows.
so let's just do for easy math. 1,000 shows. We gave at least 30. I mean, we had 2 to 4 bottles a show.
Yeah.
How many drinks is that?
Well, about 16 drinks a bottle.
So let's just say we did 30 times 1,000.
Well, yeah.
30,000 Red Bull vodkas we given away. That's the baseline minimum.
Yeah, because I mean, that's all.
So shout out to Red Bull if you want to sponsor us.
That's all we ever drank was Red Bull vodkas.
I mean, it's the club drink. It's all everybody ever drank.
I mean, then later in our career, I had to dilute it a little bit with some soda.
Well, then
So
you
Red
started
Bull-
doing diet Red Bull too, or sugar free. Yeah.
the belly.
Yeah.
But it was also, do you remember like after 5 or 6 Red Bull vodkas and like trying to go to bed?
Oh God, it's impossible. I mean, like, especially after the adrenaline of a nightclub. I mean, it's like I even have trouble going home after a Nuggets game. You know what I mean? Like, because you're just so hype when you get home, and then all of a sudden it's like, shut your brain off. I mean, I can't shut my brain off now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking about what we're going to edit and the clips and the 19 projects that we have going on.
But yeah, the Red Bull vodka staring at the ceiling, like kind of buzz. Like, I don't think I'm going to fall asleep.
That's how you take me over again? You.
That is what I remember. I do remember that, kind of like
that era.
Well, when we're on our deathbed on our 80s, and they'll be like,
80s. I'm gonna live to 105.
You're gonna live. Yeah,
I'm gonna live to be. I'm gonna be smoking cigarettes when you're 80, right next to you, blowing it in your face.
Yeah, I don't want to live to be 105. I'm just putting that out. I'm putting that out to the universe right now. But yeah, when we're 50 years from now or whatever it is, and they'll be like, "What do you remember?" I'll be like,
Red Bull vodka.
Red Bull vodka staring at the ceiling going, I'm not going to go to sleep unless I can get some Xanax or Ambien.
That's hilarious. So Take Me Over, out today everywhere. We're very excited. We're very excited to bring everybody new music. One of the things that we kind of did say that we were going to talk about, regularly was like past versus present, and I think you kind of touched on it. Was there anything that you wanted to just say real quickly about like the new mix versus the old mix, or?
I mean, it's like I said, it's the spring solstice. I keep on saying that.
So it's the first day of spring.
So
today, great.
And you're gonna, by the time you see me next, my birthday's coming up. So, Wiggs, I'm not expecting a gift, but at least a happy birthday text would be nice. But just that way,
I'll get you some Red Bull vodka.
Yeah, totally.
Sugar free. Actually, they have the zero Red Bull now, which I'm pretty excited about.
Hilarious.
But just that, that our sound is very current, like that's just really exciting to me. That's when we were going back into the studio and I'm making all the ambient music, I was like, this is kind of timeless. And I feel very current with that. But I was like, when we were coming back, we had a sound and you spent a lot of time in the studio, a lot more time than I have. And I think you've really got the manufactured Superstar 5 sound pretty dialed in, and like I said, it feels very now.
I'll ask you that in the next studio session after we leave here if you still think it's dialed in.
Yeah.
But that's I think.
So no, what we were going to talk about was, as we've been talking about the studio, I was like the emotional connection of where EDM is, why the EDM scene is growing and always has been is one, is really fun. But there is emotional connection. We all have that moment in time, whether, and why songs like nostalgia, like when we did the brunch, we haven't even really talked about how much fun that was. But all those songs were nostalgic and everybody
sung the words and had a connection.
And had a connection. And so as we're making these new songs, it's like you're either going to have an emotional connection to the song where it's happy, sad, angry, fun, whatever it is, that makes it, or it's so catchy that you can't get it out of your head. And so those are the two things that as we're progressing, I keep going back to emotional connections and catchiness.
Yeah.
And preferably both.
Yeah. So we will be back to our regularly scheduled programs with guests coming up in the future. We have a few podcasts in the pipeline right now and a few amazing guests booked for going into April.
Yeah. Winter Music Conference coming up, so I'm excited to hear the new music that's going to be coming out. We're starting to DJ again. We got to get back into the DJ edit.
Yeah.
world. So that's going to be fun too. That always gets us super connected with the music.
Yeah, for sure.
You want to plug Bounce Empire? Your birthday party?
Oh yeah, my birthday party on Friday at Bounce Empire. We got the little, what do we got? The little Raver Wonderland.
Yeah.
And this is something that I'm really excited about. That we never really got to experience music with our families, and especially our era. A lot of us have kids, and so you can't really take your kid to Red Rocks or Ball Arena for a show. But Bounce Empire is the perfect place. So we're going to do these like Friday early evening, 6 p.m. concerts, and bring your kids. And they're going to have a blast. And we got our special guest is going to be the Minions. So the Minions are going to be performing with us, which I think is going to be really fun.
And then we will kick it into high gear for a late night, less family-centric experience.
So after 10 o'clock, it's 18 plus,
Yeah.
and we'll do a regular manufacturer superstar set. And I think we're going to do an extended set that night and really get dialed in. Sean's got to get super familiar with the CDJ 3000, so I might let him just leave him up there for a little bit and let him press the buttons because the 3000s are badass.
But it is a cool experience for people to, go and hear music with their kids and, show them what they're passionate about as an adult, which is always fun. Because you can take your kid to a basketball game, but it's really frowned upon to take your 10-year-old to a rave.
Yep.
So this is a rave,
At 6 p.m. and you can be in bed by 9.
Yeah, I mean, you can be there for an hour. 6 to 7, happy hour done out on a Friday night. So as always, like and subscribe to the podcast, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and be sure to check us out weekly.